I'm Sean Davis, and this is my road to recovery.
And welcome back to another edition of Lawrence County's Recovery and Wellness, My Road to Recovery, with Kathy Ross, the owner here at Lawrence County Recovery and Wellness. And we've got a special guest on this one. Some people say you can't know everything, or you hadn't saw everything. Mm-hmm. Sounds like this gentleman saw a lot, hadn't he?
I believe so. I mean, I know I've got to pick his brain a few times, and I've sat in some meetings and such that he's been a part of for years, and always been a fan, and kind of watch from afar. You see people, they tell you whenever you're getting sober that you need to kind of gravitate toward the people that have what you want.
Yeah.
And so when you see somebody and they have some morals and values, and they keep doing the next right thing, and they keep showing up to these meetings, and then they keep doing the next right thing, and then you're like, okay, like I get it, like I'm watching. So for years, that Sean Davis has been in the rooms and stuff, and I know he's worked in social work for a long time, and just been to the couple last years that we've got the opportunity to kind of work together a little bit. But I've been going to meetings for a long time in Ironton,
right.
And there's been several meetings I've gone to, and then you've chaired several of them, and you've been a part of some of them. I think you even had to sign a meeting sheet a couple times.
Oh,
So yeah,
Probably had to sign a lot of meetings.
I was gonna say, I guarantee it. So it was just,
Yeah.
So always liked the opportunity to bring some folks in that have kind of been around. They've seen some stuff. They know some stuff. And kind of just educate the general community on what's available. And the fact that we can and do recover. It's possible.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's
So
awesome.
how much time are you working with right now?
I'm on my working on my 15th year
Mhm.
of being drug and alcohol free. It's been a long journey. I've been going at this many years before those 15 years came about. So, and I resisted it in every way there was possible.
No.
You know how we are.
Yeah, I know,
And,
right?
Yep, that's all of
That's
us.
it. Everyone.
that doesn't apply to me. So many times I tried to be that and compared myself out and
Mhm.
did all those things that we talk about. But I was introduced to the Rooms of Recovery, 12-step program. Man, the late 80s, early 90s.
How did that look then versus now? I wonder.
Much different.
Did it?
It's much different. You know what I'm saying? When I remember going to those rooms and much smaller. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
I
saying?
guarantee it.
And some people say good and bad about that. It's changed. It's just
Yeah.
the way it is. We were talking before.
Yeah.
This has been a learning experience, this recovery thing. It's not all one way. It's not all cookie cutter. It is, however we find that path.
Mhm.
And I can easily say, this is how you do it,
Mhm.
but that's not how it worked for me. I resisted it.
Yeah.
Or tried to do it my way for many years. But
I don't think I resisted. I just think that wasn't me.
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
not an addict.
Uh-huh.
I just thought, well, there's nothing to resist because I can quit at any minute.
When I want to, if I want to.
Yeah, if I want to.
Really
Exactly. But then I got to where I wanted to and couldn't.
Good.
That's
By
right.
then, I had waited too
Yeah.
long. When it first started out, it was fun. I can do it one night a week, and I'm off tomorrow. Well, the next thing you know, it's Tuesday, then Wednesday, and next thing you know, it's like, this ain't good.
No.
I'm handcuffed at this point. So,
Yeah.
I always talk about, when I was young, I knew early on that when I drank and did other things, I did it different than my friends. I
Mhm.
reacted much differently. And I thought they all had the drinking problem.
Oh yeah.
You-
Yeah. It wasn't them.
You can't do what I
Yeah.
can do. You got a drinking problem. And it was my teenage years I began to have problems.
Mhm.
I became a blackout drinker in my teenage years.
Mhm.
And that's just how I thought you drank. That's what I thought you did.
Drink to get drunk, and if
Yeah.
you didn't, then you failed.
Yeah, and I thought everybody blacked out. Like, who doesn't
Mhm.
black out? And I realized that was not true.
Mhm.
But it became problematic earlier. But like you said, I was like, when the time comes right, I'll be able to stop this. And I just like to party real hard, and I'm not like that. But it caught up with me, and I remember early on that alcohol and that lifestyle were very normal in my life, in my house,
yeah,
my upbringing.
mine too.
My dad owned a bar here in town. He owned a very wild and crazy bar here in town. So that was very normal. And all the men in my life that influenced me all drank. It was very normal. So I didn't
Part of
know-
everyday life, huh?
I didn't know what abnormal was
Right.
until
I remember my dad, and he was like, "Kat, why can't you just smoke pot and drink beer?" Like, how many pills for?
That'd be a
It
blessing.
was.
Yeah.
They didn't understand.
Yeah.
He had no understanding why.
Yeah.
He's like, "If you could just do this, sis, then and then don't do that, then you're gonna be
Right.
fine." I was like, so it was a hard learning curve because
Yeah.
for me that was the norm in my family too.
Yeah, and it took a hold of me that took me in a direction.
Yeah.
It was not very pleasant, as we
Yeah,
know.
of course.
So, like I said, I got introduced for different reasons. And my mom, I remember getting in trouble here in town. And by the time I was 18, I had to go serve 10 days in jail. Judge Collins, who it was, sent me there, and I was like, jail? Like, what am I going to jail for?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm not
yeah.
kicking in doors.
Yeah. Exactly.
And away I went. My mom said, you can't stay around here anymore. You got to go away. And I went to college. And that's where my addiction really
Ran.
took off. Like,
Yeah.
Took it to another level.
yeah, I met people
Yeah.
just like me that like to do what I like to do, and
Yeah.
showed me a whole
And
new,
then some.
a whole new world.
Yeah,
Right, like here's
exactly.
some other stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not small town
Yeah.
anymore.
No,
Like you're
no.
running with
So,
the big dogs now.
It really took off, and what a terrible time in my life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And,
When it should have been a joyous time.
absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah. Should and I,
Learning.
I'm not supposed to regret the past, but I sure regret some of that stuff.
Oh yeah.
I missed a lot of stuff, but the path is for me has been what it has, and I'm very grateful for the path of recovery, and that people were there for me to recover and supported me and helped me. I happen to be a 12-step person. I'm a big believer in 12 steps to recovery and the meetings. And times have changed.
They
Things
have.
are different, and I learned a lot from a lot of old timers.
That's my favorite meetings. I was talking about a minute ago. Like if I can go, there's some meetings over in Ashland. If you can hit a noon meeting over
Oh,
there at one of
yeah,
those churches,
yeah.
I'm telling you, them guys, they'll
They're
look right at. They
powerful,
can look
aren't they?
through your soul,
Yeah.
and they'll tell you, you need to sit still. You ain't got too much to say today, sis.
Yep.
And then you sit still
Yep.
because they've got 30 years, and
Yep.
if you want what they got, then you better kind of listen a little bit
Right,
and sit
right.
still.
And grateful for those guys.
Oh, I am
Very-
forever grateful. I'm telling you, some of the grouchiest old men I'm forever grateful for. I'm
Yeah.
telling you,
Powerful
right?
men,
They
too.
are. I'm telling
Yes.
you.
I wasn't ready for those guys, but they're always there. You know
Yes,
what I'm saying? And
totally.
I always say they kept the same old message. They read the same stuff. They said the same things. And just when I was ready to do that,
It made a change.
took hold.
When did you, if you don't mind me asking, when did you go, okay, I'm ready?
Well, fortunately, unfortunately, I had to be one of those that had to get some severe consequences, and I had to become what they call a felon. And I like to think I'm in control of my life, and I like to be free. But when they had to cage me like a bird, or like an animal,
Yeah.
you need to be caged and told what to do. Then, and I knew for a long time this is not going well. This is not working out. But I worked in the helping field. I had an education.
Yeah.
My job was to assess people and say, I think you need some help.
Exactly.
I party. You need help.
You need the help.
Yeah, exactly. Totally.
And,
That's powerful.
and I don't
So-
have that problem, even though the things I were doing were very destructive. And I'd had many warnings, many maybe some insight, but a lot of warnings, a lot of suggestions. But it wasn't until I hit a real bottom. And I'm not going to all the ugliness.
Yeah,
Sure,
That'll be
absolutely.
ugly in life,
but-
but I hit a bottom, and they told me that you're a felon. That's the charge I had, and again, like I know that. I don't kick you in
I'm telling you,
doors,
you're
but tons of
telling
people.
exactly right. I mean,
Yeah.
my story to a T right there
Yeah.
because we don't. Like, I'm like, I have a college education.
Yeah.
I've been married. Like, that's not who I am. Then you turn around one day and you're like, oh my gosh, this is me. Like, if I don't fix this, then no one's going to.
Yeah. The moment of clarity came. This was before you could get into treatment as a man. There was no.
There was nothing.
There was no Medicaid.
Not
They said-
15 years ago, even. I
Right,
mean, it was
this is
so
what it
hard. It
was.
was 15
Yeah, this
years
is-
ago.
this is
Man
what it
trying to
was.
get in treatment was like, it was ridiculous. And
Right.
I mean,
This
it was
was
so
it.
sad.
And I knew a guy because he's no longer with us, but
Mm-hmm.
he was in recovery, and he worked in treatment, helping people
Mm-hmm.
down the Portsmouth area. And I would call him and say, "Hey, Cletus got a problem. He needs to get in there."
Exactly.
So he
I
could
wish
get
you'd have called back
Yeah.
then.
I worried you back about 1989.
About 93, boy, I could have used that phone call. I can tell you.
Well, the day came, and I had to go see that man.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, "You better get yourself in treatment. You got a couple options."
Wow.
Yeah.
And I had to sit in front of that man, and he started talking to me. And I'd been in the rooms,
Mm-hmm.
made to, told to, sometimes thought I should, for years, but I just wasn't ready.
Yeah.
And I had to go sit in front of that man, and they're like, you got to go to treatment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he starts telling me, like, this is where you're going to go. Well, I already had my plan like that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to that
Mm-mm.
place. 'Cause
Yeah.
I know people here.
Yeah.
Put me out that farm out there where they got the horses.
Yeah.
I just need some fresh air.
Yeah.
I just need to,
all those things.
I just need to find myself.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'll figure this
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
And he said, no,
Mhm.
this is the level of treatment we're recommending for you, and this is reality. And I was like, yeah, but I got a degree.
Mm-hmm.
I help people.
Yeah.
I got
Yes.
a job.
I'm none of that.
I'm a dad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm this. And he said, this is the moment of clarity for me. He said, Sean, take all those things that you think you are, those
Mhm.
self-appointed titles,
Mhm.
all that stuff you think you are, and just lock that up in that cabinet behind you. Because what you are is and I'm not going to say the full
Yeah.
word, what you are is a drunk going to prison.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you are. And that was a gut punch to me.
Wow.
That was the moment of clarity.
Take your
like,
breath away, won't it?
yeah, and it's like, he's right.
Mhm.
Everything I think defines me
It's nothing.
is nothing.
Mhm.
I am the drunk, the
Mhm.
alcoholic, the addict,
Mm-hmm.
all
Yeah.
that come with it.
Yeah.
The other substances that made me what I am. It dictated every part of my life.
Yeah.
I agree wholeheartedly.
My
That's very
relationships, my mental health,
Mhm.
my physical health, my financial, everything
true. Yes.
was dictated by my addiction.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, I remember the last time, and I couldn't lie to myself anymore.
Oh, yeah.
There was no more BSing.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't even look in the mirror and BS myself.
Oh,
I'm saying
that mirror is
Oh,
brutal.
it is brutal,
That
especially
mirror
when you're
is a
when you're ready to
bitch.
hear the truth and you can look yourself in the eye and you're like,
Ooh.
listen, I'm not even falling
Nah,
for this shit anymore.
I
It's
tell
over.
The
Like,
mirror
I
therapy
get it.
had to happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And I couldn't lie anymore, and just I think that was a surrender. I knew about God, and I knew what they told me in the rooms
Mhm.
to do, and I believe I did that.
Yeah.
And so once I got my ego out of the way and said, all right, that's what I am, so tell me what to do. I'll give this thing 1 year.
Yeah.
1 year.
That's it. You're already setting parameters right
Yeah.
there.
Oh, yeah. I'll do
I
this.
know.
Here's how I'm gonna do it,
This is how
sir.
we're
I'm
gonna
gonna give
do
you a
it.
year.
You're gonna give you a year to
and,
fix me.
Yeah.
The first night in treatment,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been to treatment before. I've been to
Uh-huh.
one of those fancy treatments up in
Oh, yeah.
Minnesota.
Oh yeah.
I've been to Hazelton.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
yes.
I've been
You went to the good one.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I even know where that's
I
at.
know, right?
I did Hazelton
Yeah.
7 years before.
Oh heck.
Why, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Because somebody wanted you to.
Because someone wanted
Yeah,
to
yeah,
say,
yeah,
yeah,
to.
and it was a fancy place.
Yeah.
And I have my certificate.
Yeah.
Uh, but I went to treatment that night, and the first thing they did was take me to a meeting. And very humbling experience, because I walked in,
Mhm.
and there was people who I had assessed just days before.
Oh,
Like, you need to
wow.
go to treatment. And here I am. And that
Mm.
was my experience. It was very humbling. A necessary thing was
Yes.
the humbling process for me.
Mhm.
And there was them old timers, them old men
Yep.
said, here, we've been waiting on you, Sean.
Yeah.
And,
Drinking coffee.
yeah.
Waiting on
Yeah.
And I felt safe.
Mhm.
And I said, I'm doing this deal. And I gave myself a year, and I did it, and my life changed, just like I was
Yeah.
told. And I won't let go of it.
Yeah.
It's
And that's what, man, if you could just bottle that up
Yes.
and put it in that water
Oh.
bottle and hand it out, because
It'd be
just like you
amazing.
said, after that year,
Mhm.
your life changes.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like it's so powerful.
Yeah.
The difference in your
Mhm.
life can be how you were a year prior
Mhm.
and a
Yes.
year after. You walk different,
Yeah.
you talk different, you look different, you act different.
It is.
Uh,
And the fact that you brought it back to our hometown, and I love to talk to people that and kind of we destructed in our hometown, but then guess what we brought back to our hometown? Something we never had before. Now we're given the opportunity for so many more people to have the opportunity to get sober, because you're exactly right. 15 years ago, a man couldn't get a medical card, a man couldn't get in treatment. If Dayton didn't have a bed for you through the
Right,
Salvation
the
Army,
Salvation Army,
then
yeah.
you wasn't getting nothing.
Exactly.
I mean, Jimmy Dawes was up there. He worked at the
Uh-huh.
Salvation Army for years, and so,
Wow.
but because you just knew you could call up there, and then when the tides changed, and then men could get treatment, then women started getting more treatment, and then we're seeing whole communities heal. And then whenever I first started getting sober, you didn't talk about this. People just didn't want to hear it because it was they were this is a disgrace. But now it's like, okay, we sit here and have this conversation, and the fact that your story is just like my story, and it's like so many other people, and when they hear that, then they know oh my God, if he can do it, then I can do it.
Absolutely. That's
I
why you
love
tell
it.
your story.
Oh, I'm telling you,
Exactly.
it's just amazing to me, and I just have to tell you how much admiration I have for what you do in the community and what you do with people in recovery. It's a lot, and I'm serious, because you have no idea. I'll talk to people, and they're like, "Well, Sean Davis told me this," and I was like, "Okay, he's a man of he's doing this, so okay, sit down, and I'll talk to you." Because some people want to BS a little bit, and I'm
Absolutely.
not, and that's just the kind of person I am.
Yeah.
If you tell me that they need a certain level of care, then I know you are putting them where they need to be, not where they want to to be.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's a hard decision that you have to tell them and do.
Absolutely.
So but I have a lot of admiration for folks that work in the field that can put somebody's feelings on the back burner
Yeah.
and take care of the addict, and then we'll baby them later. Like,
Absolutely.
let's save them today. Tomorrow we'll pat them.
More about your life than your
Exactly.
feelings.
So that just means a lot to me. But I really appreciate you taking the time to come in, though, and just go over some of these things. It's not easy to talk about. Nobody likes this stuff,
No.
but it's necessary.
I can tell you this, I've never met you before, didn't know your story, Kathy told me a little bit about it, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I could probably sit and talk to you for days.
Oh,
There's something about your persona, your personality, your story, and I'm not just saying it to toot your horn by any means. I was sitting there thinking the whole time, man, I love this dude.
Yeah.
This dude beside me is the real
I
deal.
told you. That's what
You
I
know,
said.
like I said,
Yeah.
you know, she gets the call that you referred or whatever.
Uh-huh.
It's and man, it's definitely a pleasure. Very inspiring to meet you for sure.
Absolutely.
Proud of you.
You too, sir.
Absolutely.
You too, sir. Thank you.
All right, we'll get on out of here. All the information that you need is on the screen. Dial the number, hit the email, whatever you need. This young lady right over here will take care of you. I promise. You have a great day. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate you, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.